Okay, boys and girls, welcome to the last lesson of topic 5, solving multi-step inequalities. So what we're going to be doing with these inequalities is applying everything that we already know about inequalities, like using inverse relationships, and we're going to be adding in some distributive property, which you also know how to do, just that now we're going to be combining it all together. So let's take a look at this problem. It says solve the inequality, then graph the solutions. And here's the inequality. So our first step, you'll notice right here, the negative 2 is being multiplied by 3x minus 5. So I'm going to write the inequality down, and then we're going to solve it right here. Negative 8 is less than negative 2 times 3x minus 5. Okay, so we're going to distribute. So we're going to take the negative 2, we're going to multiply it by 3x, that little arrow means multiply, and times negative 5. So let's do that first. We'll write this in a different color. Negative 8 is less than negative 6x plus 10. Yes, plus 10 because negative 2 times negative 5. Now, we're going to subtract 10 from both sides and bring down our negative 6x. And the inequality is still facing that way. And negative 8 plus negative 10 is negative 18. And now our last step is we're going to divide by the coefficient of the variable, which is negative 6. I'm going to write the answer up here. So negative 6 over negative 6 cancels, which leaves x by itself over there. The inequality is facing that way, but we divided by a negative, so we have to switch it. It goes that way. And that is positive 3. Negative 18 divided by negative 6. Now, if we want to write it down with the x on the left, we have to write it down like this, and the mouth is facing away, and 3. So that's what we're looking for. And now we want to graph the solutions. And again, here is our solution. X is less than 3, so we're looking for an open circle at positive 3 with an arrow pointing to the left, and you can see it's right there, answer choice B. Boys and girls, remember to pause the video anytime I say something that you don't quite understand. You can either replay it or just kind of sit there for a second and think about what I said and make sure you understand it before you move on. Okay, this next problem says Maria says that the solutions of the inequality are y is less than negative 3. Now we're going to find, describe, and correct the error in her work. What was Maria's mistake? So let's go through this step by step. Well, if you multiply 3 times 2y, you get 6y, which is true. And you multiply 3 times negative 7, you get negative 21. So that's correct. And then less than 3. So that's all right. But then at that point, if I write down that step of the inequality, minus 21 is less than 3. And then I add 21 to both sides. That leaves me with 6y is less than 24, and you can see clearly that now we know what the mistake is. Here it says 24, and here it says negative 18. So what could she have done that is her mistake? Well, it looks like she made a mistake in adding up these numbers right here. It looks like she subtracted. So we know what answer choice that would be. That would be she subtracted instead of added. And now we want the solutions of the inequality. So where I left off was I said that negative 6y was less than 24, right? And now we're going to divide by negative 6. And that's going to leave me with y is greater than, remember we've got to switch the inequality, negative 4. So we would choose answer choice D, this one, and fill in negative 4 in our square right there. Moving along, here we go. We see that we are given some measurements of a picture frame, and one length is x plus 8, and the other dimension is x, so length times width, right? And then it says, for what value of x is the perimeter of the picture frame greater than 156 inches? Okay, well remember, perimeter means if we start in one corner and go all the way around the outside of this figure, and as a matter of fact, let me do that again. If we go all the way around the outside and we add up how far we traveled, then that would be the perimeter. So the perimeter is going to be, remember, this is x over here and this is x plus 8 because it's a rectangle and opposite sides are equal. So if I take all those sides and add them together, x plus x, those are the two side lengths that are the same, they're across from each other, plus x plus 8 plus x plus 8, those are the two sides that are opposite each other. And they is a picture frame. For what value of x is the perimeter of the picture frame greater than 156? So there. So let's add up our like terms. X plus x. Hang on, boys and girls. I gotta get this back up. There we go. That's better. Plus x. How many x is that? That's 4x. And then if I take 8 and add 8, that's 16 is greater than 256. Now you should know how to solve it from here, boys and girls. We've been doing these for a long time. We're going to subtract 16 from both sides. And we're going to bring down our 4x. And 16 minus 16 is 0. That's greater than 256 minus 16 is 240. The last step is to divide by the coefficient of the variable. So 4 over 4 cancels, and x is greater than, 4 goes into 24 6 times, and keep the 0 at the end. There you go, and you fill that in for your answer. Moving right along, this problem, boys and girls, says, it gives you an inequality basically, and it says, is she correct? Okay, so let's see. So Sierra says that she can simplify the right side of the inequality. So let's just make our dashed lines right here. Right here, separating the two sides of our inequality, right? She says she can simplify the right side of the inequality shown by combining terms within the parentheses. That's this part right here. Oops, this part right here. She says she can add those numbers together for her first step. But she says that she can't do the same thing on the left side. So that means inside these parentheses, she says she cannot add up those terms. What is going on? Sorry about that. It says, is she correct? And explain. Okay, choose the answer below. Well, can you add together 8 plus 2? Of course you can. Can you add negative 4 plus y and get one number answer? No. So she is correct. So it looks like incorrect, incorrect, incorrect. So none of those are right, and that means that this must be the right answer. Okay, moving right along. Write, solve, and graph the inequality. 6 times a number plus 22 is greater than 7. Nothing could be easier, boys and girls. Just go straight across. So 6 times some number, use any letter you like, plus 22 is greater than 7. Nice. Let's solve it. Which inequality models the statement? Well, clearly it is answer choice D. And moving right along, we'll go to the next step here. Then let's solve it now. Okay, that's the next step. So we're going to take 6x plus 22 is greater than 7. And we are going to subtract 22 from both sides. Of course we are. We're going to bring down that 6x like that. We're going to cancel out our 22s. We're going to bring down our inequality. 7 minus 22 is negative 15. And now our last step is to divide by the coefficient of the variable, which is 6. 6 over 6 cancels into 1 and leaves 1x is greater than negative. Now let's divide 15 and 6 by the GCF, which is 3, and that leaves 3 goes into 15 5 times, and 3 goes into 6 2 times. There you go. There's your answer right there. And now, of course, we're looking for, so we're looking for x is greater than negative 5 halves. That means we're looking for an open circle at negative 5 halves with the arrow pointing to the right. Let's see if we can find it. Do you see it? Looks like it's right there. Right? You had that, right? We are rolling, boys and girls. Here's number 6. This one says use both the addition and multiplication properties to solve and graph the solutions on a number line. So we know how to do this. So we're going to take our inequality, 2 times 3y minus 4 is less than 4, and we are going to first distribute. 2 times 3y is 6y, and 2 times negative 4 is negative 8, is less than 4. We're going to add 8 to both sides. Bring down our 6y. 8's cancel. 4 plus 8 is 12. Divide by the coefficient of the variable. And y is less than 2. Easy. So easy. Now, boys and girls, if you're still being confused by this, you need to stop here, replay this video, watch me go through the steps again until you can understand it. Now, we've done it so many times. Okay, so first we started by multiplying 2 times 3y and 2 times negative 4. And then we wrote down what we had left. Then we started using inverse operations of first inequality, subtraction. The inverse is addition. See that? And we have to do it on both sides. Then we divided by 6. That's the inverse of multiplication. Okay, hopefully this is sinking in. And now we're looking for the solution. And remember, our solution was y is less than 2. So we're looking for an open circle at positive 2 with the arrow pointing to the left. And do you see which one it is? You should know it by now. You should be able to find the match. It's right there. Okay, boys and girls, this is the first time I've ever seen a problem with 7 parts, but we're going to tackle it. Here we go. This is easy. We got this. Here's our inequality, and there's our fence, right? So it's actually just one inequality with lots of terms, so we can take this step by step. The first step says, what is the best first step to solve the given inequality? Well, I'm going to show you a little trick. Look inside the parentheses, right there and right there. Do you remember the last problem where the student was saying she could add like terms on one side but not on the other side? This is the same exact thing, because we can add negative 2 plus 8 right here. That's annoying. We can add negative 2 plus 8, and we can combine that to 6. So we would do that first. Okay, and what is that? That's combining like terms, right? We're adding numbers together. So that's the first step. When we combine like terms, let's do it up here. Negative 3 times negative 2 plus 8 is plus 6. So that's the right side of the inequality. We're going to add negative 2 plus 8, which is 6, plus 6. We're going to multiply negative 3 times 6, which is negative 18, and then add 6, which means to subtract because they're different signs. And that's 12, but the bigger number is negative. So there you go. We're going to take that number and pop it right in there in our box. Continuing the problem, now we're going to take the left side of the inequality, 4 times x minus 2 minus 5, and we're going to work that out. So first we're going to distribute 4 times x and 4 times 2. So that's 4x and 8, but we're going to subtract in the middle, just like it shows us, and then we're going to subtract 5, and now we can combine these like terms right here, negative 8 and negative 5, which is negative 13. So we're going to take that part and we're going to plug it in right there. Look, we're getting there, boys and girls. We only have 3 parts remaining. Now here's our inequality that we solved for so far. We have 4x minus 13 is greater than or equal to negative 12. So we kind of simplified each side of the inequality. Look what we started with. We started with this big old thing, and now we got it down to this part. So it's pretty cool. Now we know, look what the question is. What is the best next step? So the next step would be to use the inverse operation of subtraction, which is addition. So we are going to choose answer D, apply the addition or subtraction property. And then there were only 2 parts remaining. We're getting there, okay? And so it tells us to go ahead and apply that property of inequality and simplify. So we're going to take 4x minus 13 is greater than or equal to negative 12, and we're going to add 13 to both sides. And we're going to bring down our 4x, and that cancels to 0. Greater than or equal to 13 minus 12 is 1. Okay, so now we know what to write down right there. And we're getting there. Here's our last step, almost. What is the next best step to solve the given inequality? Well, we know we're going to have to, right here, divide each side of the inequality by the coefficient of the variable. And that's applying the multiplication or division property. So easy. We're almost there. And finally, here is the very last step. When we take our inequality 4x is greater than or equal to 1, and we divide by 4 on both sides, 4's cancel, we bring down the x is greater than or equal to 1 over 4. There we go, right there. And no parts left. All parts are showing. So great job, boys and girls. We figured that one out. Good luck as you start your own homework, and just remember to rewatch this video. You can rewatch any problem, and hopefully you took some notes on some of these, and I wish you the best of luck. Good luck on your assignment. Let me know if you have any questions.